Hey everybody, so it's a pivotal moment in the NFL offseason, and I have to wonder, does the Biden administration realize that tanking will not result in the higher draft pick? What makes me think that they're tanking this season? Well, for starters, Kamala is back in the public eye. They sent her to Poland, to Ukraine, she's given speeches. She looks like she's failing the walking part of the sobriety test while standing still at the podium.
I went off script a little bit.
We keep being told that the, quote, adults are back in the room. One question, is that room padded by any chance? Because it should be.
I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have in terms of the eastern flank and our NATO allies, and what is at stake at this very moment.
She looks like she's giving it a shot at open mic night. When she was done, did her staff come up to her and say, "Oh my God, that was amazing. It's almost like you should do this for a living or something"? And if you ask her a question, especially a logical one, forget it. She immediately turns into a puddle.
How long should we be bracing for this really sort of historic inflation and some unprecedented gas prices?
Sure. In terms of the discussions that the President, Johannes, and I had, they ranged in subject, including the issue of the Black Sea, and I'll let him explain in more detail as he would like. But we are, again, fully aware and apprised, because we are in constant communication with the President, with his administration here, about the concerns that they have about the entire region and, frankly, the vulnerability. All you have to do is look at the map.
Good answer. I mean, this woman is the rheumatoid arthritis of public speaking. I think she's only there to make you slightly more grateful that Biden's still in office.
The United States stands firmly with the Ukrainian people in defense of the NATO alliance.
Ukraine is not part of the NATO alliance. She should probably know that. Jussie Smollett went to jail. He tried to start a race war and the Democrats finished it. But him going to jail, that's got to make Alec Baldwin squirm a little bit. That's not supposed to happen. Baldwin is now pivoting to blaming Helena Hutchins for her own death. No accountability at all? He must be auditioning for a role in the Biden administration. Russia is now sanctioning Hillary Clinton. That's a shock.
Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
I know, with all the things that she's done for them, like Uranium One, you would think they'd be a little bit more grateful. I think the only American who's pleased right now is Jimmy Carter. He has to be happy there's a new belly flop champion. Seriously, the Biden administration's like Weekend at Bernie's. Only, it's not a weekend, it's year 2. So Pete Buttigieg, Jen Psaki, Stephen Colbert, and George Takei all deserve the elitist tone deaf award. George Takei doesn't mind paying extra for gas, so why should I? Because we're striking a blow against Putin.
All-time record high of over $4 per gallon. Okay, that stings, but a clean conscience is worth $1 or $2.
Or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 400, 500, 600, and sold for the clean conscience at $700. The left is trying to turn not complaining about inflation into virtue signaling. You know, if Star Trek used George Takei's energy ideas, the Enterprise would have been a sitting duck, just blown to smithereens by the Klingons. Warp speed, Mr. Sulu. Sorry, Captain, the solar panels are not responding.
Scotty, I can't change the laws of physics.
Psaki first said that moving into renewables, side note, laughably unfeasible, would have the fastest effect on gas prices. Oh, so that's why we're crawling to Venezuela and Iran. So they'll ship us 1 million windmills in our moment of crisis.
It'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people.
The Biden administration have worked this all out for us.
All benefit from the gas savings of driving an EV.
We need to drive electric cars, which are actually coal cars, because that's where the electric part comes from. You see, if I camouflage the use of fossil fuel, then it's okay. I didn't see it. Or maybe don't drive anything. Go biking or blink your eyes and teleport. Go hang gliding. Just watch out for the windmills. Brief word, everybody. I need your help. So subscribe, like, hit the bell, comment. Thank you. When Jennifer Psaki puts out something with all the omissions, it's almost like a brain teaser. Find the hidden object. Here she put out a chart about the Putin spike. But what was missing? Peel the chart back, and you see that it's actually a Biden spike. Psaki made another point trying to slide blame to the oil companies.
And there are 9,000 unused approved drilling permits. So I would suggest you ask the oil companies why they're not using those if there's a desire to drill more.
9,000 permits. Okay, what's the response to that?
Earth is explored, and some permits are viable and some are not. But right now, the moratorium on leasing certainly just adds an additional block.
She knows that, right? It's delaying leases. Look, you can get a lease and then they delay the permits for you to be able to do seismic and do work on it. In Alaska, they delay the ability to get a permit for an ice road, which is how we go and do exploration on these leases. They've shut that down.
Also, notice her language here.
The U.S. produced more oil this past year than in President Trump's first year.
Okay, and why not the second? Why not his third? Why not his fourth? And notice, just like Putin invading Ukraine, it's interesting that the oil industry waited until now to start their gouging ways. If Trump was a shill for big oil, wouldn't the gouging have started then? Maybe it's because the Biden administration immediately went to work on, quote, the climate emergency. They canceled Keystone, halted federal leases, re-entered the Paris Accords.
Joining the Paris Climate Agreement sends a message, and it's a message that this is an administration that does want to take dramatic climate action. And that is a message to Americans, but it's also a message from the Biden administration to those progressives inside their own party.
They even exhumed super snob John Kerry to be a climate envoy. So now they're basically saying to you, don't trust your lying eyes, don't trust your lying wallets, and don't trust your lying memories. The demonization of fossil fuels has been a major component of the Democrat Party.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue?
You cannot be the party that caters to the Green New Deal ideology and then simultaneously say that you're a friend to the fossil fuel industry when it gets politically inconvenient.
But wait! There's more!
Then again, maybe they can. They're doing it right now with another kind of inflation. Crime. It's a swap of Democrat villains. Instead of oil, we have cops. The party that panders to the defund the police crowd.
So we've been talking about defunding the police.
But we need to completely dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department.
They become the enemy. They're supposed to be protecting these people.
That treats smash and grabs and other assaults as no biggie. Cannot then pretend to be supportive of law enforcement.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police.
Kinda late on that one.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe. Be sure to pass around to anybody who might like my content. And I'll see you the next time.